let's talk about, let's add our installation of the hem chart. So we're gonna do a quick we're just gonna do a quick confirmation if the hem chart is already installed. I added this here just because I didn't want, if something went wrong, it did a reinstall. So you don't have to add that. Um, but what is that hem? Um, yeah. So as I mentioned, this just checks if the hem is installed. Hem is essentially a package manager for Kubernetes. It allows us to deploy complex applications like Prometheus or Neo4j using reusable templates called charts. It's equivalent to it's the equivalent of apt for Ubuntu, pip for Python, or npm for Node.js. While we'll talk about a thing called kubectl, right? So while that kubectl, and we saw a little bit, couple of little about it earlier, but we'll get a little deeper down. But let's talk about kubectl. Kubectl, which is the CLI command used to communicate with Kubernetes, and just think of it as your control plane interface, right? Um, while kubectl, and I think I have it up, but it's cube um, ctl. That's the command there. We'll get more into you. We'll be using that quite a bit. So while kubectl is great for managing individual files, hem allows you to manage complex applications as a single unit. The core purpose of hem, the main goal of hem is to simplify the deployment of Kubernetes application by bundling all the necessary YAML resource files like deployments, services, config maps, etc. into a single reusable package called charts. Common example of some of the commands for hem is, for example, um, I'll just give you a few commands. And hem install, if you have an app and you have your chart, this deploys your application package. Another one is hem list, and hem list, and this shows all releases, installed apps in your cluster. Another one is hem rollback app. So it's very powerful app. Hem rollback the app that was installed recently, and I'm missing a one there, instantly reverts your app to its first version. Alright, so those are just three commands, but we saw a few before, and then we're going to see a few more. Standard Kubernetes manifest is the deployment YAML, and it's a file, and it's called deployment YAML, and that's the standard Kubernetes manifest. Every value is hard-coded. If you want to change the number of replicas or image version, you must manually edit file the file every time. There might be some ways to set up configurations and use configurations to reload. So here's the let's look at what the YAML this deployment YAML is. Looks just like this is what it is, the basics of it, right? And this is the NGINX that will be deployed, and it's hard coded in as the app that will be deployed. Replicas, there you go, 3 hard coded value, and remember in the command we had what the name of the data is. All right, and that the kind of is deployment. You have services and others. Another hem chart, hem template plus the value YAML. And it's just like I say value dot YAML, just the name of the file. So what hem does, hem splits the data. The template um, defines the structure, and the value provides the specific data, like 1 to 5, um, um, 1 to 5, something like that. And the value.yaml, the settings file, which is what it is, you only change this file to update your app. For example, replica count, um, replica count 5, image tag, that, and we'll see it in use in our app here, right? But I just want to go through it so you kind of have an understanding of it. The hem template is a reusable file. Okay, this stays um, this this stays the same and pulls data from the values file. Okay, and this is deployment, and here you go, it's pulling values from the value file. So this will pull the file from the replica count that we did earlier, and then template spec. And this is a very nice way to kind of reuse different values, and have these templates where you can reuse them in projects across your development environment. Why this matter? Reusability. You can use the same template for dev, staging, prod. So, and with configuration files, you can, or value files for each of these environments, um, just by swapping out the values files. Automation, you can override values directly from command line without touching any files. For example, hem, if I want to change the replica, right, when I do my hem install, I will just do something like that. All right, let's get rid of this. And this will change the replica to 10, and that overrides the value file. Okay. Now, to package your Kubernetes manifest into a shareable hem chart, you follow a standard directory structure and use the built-in hem package command. So let's look at what the structure look like, right? The standard directory structure, every hem chart must follow specific layout to be recognized by the hem tool. And normally the hem tool will create, when you create a, you start to create your package, you'll get your chart, you'll get these created for you, but you can add more, right? The metadata, name, version, description, default configuration values, your Kubernetes manifest template, development, services, and optional subcharts for app dependence. So it's very, very, very flexible. I mentioned it's just a